Am I live? Is that me? All right. Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Come back, come back. Welcome to this late night edition. Beyond Babbitt. Brian Anthony, your host, reporting for duty. Been doing a lot of analyzing, a lot of thinking. Seems like a lot of people are coming out in support of some of the theories that I put out there. How you doing today, Michael Davies? All right. Some of the theories that I put out there about what's going on. They've even been digging, finding articles. So this one here is going to be kind of deep, guys. You know, I had believed. All right. Devil dog. All right. So, you know, I had believed that Trump was the real thing, right? I believed that he was really on our side. Even a Trump supporter, pretty much. But, you know, I always wondered why does he have a card, or at least two cards, in the Illuminati card game? Trump, President Trump. Oh yeah, and I'd like to say thanks to all my new subscribers, man. I really appreciate y'all. Without y'all, there'd be no me. I'm really gracious. I'm really thank you. Just thank you. Just thank you for joining in, everybody, for watching. Um, but as I was saying, the Illuminati card game was put out in like 1995, 1996. It was only out for like 2 or 3 years, and they exed it. So there are certain characters who have cards in that game with certain things written on them. Hillary Clinton has a card. Bill Clinton has a card. Donald Trump by name has a card. And then he also has a card that says enough is enough, where he looked like his face is full of fury and like he's gonna blow something up, like the nuclear war. Um, President O has a card. Did you hear what I said? 1995, 1996 is when this game was put out. President O has a card. Says backlash on us, like they're throwing tomatoes at him and stuff like that. Change. He gave us change, and I guess they figured that the change wouldn't be liked, but I guess the people were easier to sway than they thought because they seemed like they loved the change. Okay, so I looked. I forgot who I was watching, but they reminded me that Pence had a Latin America trip this past summer, spring and summer, starting like in May. I started looking at old articles. Um, Vice President Pence had been to Latin America no less than 3 times this summer. I think he made at least 4 trips. This is South America, Central America, some of the islands down there. He basically went and talked to these countries and did economic deals with a lot of them, saying, you know, if you do this or do that, we'll give you money. If you don't do this or do that, we'll cut money off. Well, all the same countries that Vice President Pence went and spoke to, these are the people who are coming across the border. These are the migrants who lined up the caravan. The same countries that he went to go visit, that he went and spoke to, they're the ones in the caravan. You think he had something to do with it? It's just like as soon as he left, as soon as he came back. Because you know, this is the second time. They tried to send this caravan through a couple of months ago, and people found out about it, and it just disappeared. Okay? Now, this one is going to be successful. And I hate to say it, it looks like the White House sent Pence down there to kind of give those guys the plan and get everybody on board. We all know that the New World Order had been Guatemala, I believe Guatemala was one of them. Yeah, it was. All those freaking countries that they said that the migrants, the immigrants are coming. This is the invasionary force. So they know that they can't hold the stock market up for long. They know that, so they're probably trying to just hold it up. Now this the immigrant thing, migrant thing has a twofold. It's really used to polarize the West, the United States. The Dems are for them, bring them in, we can help them, and the Republicans are like, no, they have their own country, they need to fix the mess, and they're gonna bleed us dry, and that's gonna help get the civil war going amongst the people. So the government's gonna be fighting, the people are gonna be fighting. The armada of ships down there. Why are they trying to stay hidden? Why don't they identify themselves? The ships around Venezuela. Hmm. See, we know that the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, they're together. And they all deal with Venezuela and those other countries down there. Man, this invasion is planned, man. It's been planned. The planet, either they knew or they didn't. The New Economist cover. Okay, so we know that the first Economist cover back in 1988, January 1988, the Synthesis in a Frenzy, which was talking about on that bird, the phoenix, which had the thing that looks like a Bitcoin on it. 10/10, 2018, we were supposed to get the new currency. All the other currencies were on fire. So the New Economist, now we know that the Economist is a magazine that's owned by the Rothschild family. So they basically are broadcasting what they intend on doing, letting us know what plans we have, you know, hiding it in plain sight. So the New Economist magazine, on the left side, well, on one of the sides, it has that same cover. Get ready for a new currency, with the bird, with the phoenix, the Bitcoin on the chest. All the currencies on fire. Then it says 2019, and the other side is totally black. You know what that is? It's lights out 2019. It's lights out 2019. What do y'all think, guys? Y'all think they're trying to tell us something? So we all thought that President O was the closer, right? President Trump is the closer. He's the one who set the American embassy up in Israel, in Jerusalem. Moved it from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Because we know that the anti is going to stand in the temple saying that he's God. He is, the God of your fathers. So some power players we need to be looking at then, right? We know the Pope is most likely the false prophet. There's going to be two. There's going to be a false prophet and there's going to be an antichrist. So Xi Jinping just made himself president for life. He's a power player, but is he the anti? Jared Kushner, yeah, that's an evil guy. Um, Jared Kushner, that's one that should be on the list. Yeah, the dollar. This is it, man. This is also earlier this year, back in March, I predicted that the dollar would crash, the stock market would crash, September the 28th, 2018, in which at that point we had just broke a new high. Since then, it's been woo, and the comeback, woo, but it's gonna crash. And I based my evaluation off of one thing. the business cycle. The business cycle is like every 7 to 10 years. So this is just a cycle that you can't beat. Just like it's 24 hours in a day. You just know when it's gonna happen. So 7 years ago, uh, they extended it because it was the crash was in 2008, and 7 years from that was supposed to be again in 2015. They've extended it with the bailouts and everything, but it never goes longer than 10 years. This is the 10th year, 2018. And so with this being the 8th year, the crash is bound to happen. There's nothing they can do to stop it. They've never been able to stop it. And I don't think they can. It's just something that's it's just embedded in, it's just a cycle that's going to happen. So they know this. They don't want to lose control. They want to bring up the New World Order. And they want to rob and steal. Since they know it's going to crash, they're going to do everything to loot, to plunder, to rob and steal. So when it goes down and to come up, they can just act like, they just got new wealth. But they stole everybody blind. And they want us to be left holding a worthless dollar. So we got this planet coming. We got an armada of ships down there by Venezuela. At least 40 ships, warships, military vessels. We don't know who they belong to. We got these immigrants and migrants coming. They say at least 4,000 of them. We don't know what countries they're from. We don't know who's all embedded with them. The Red Dawn, the invasionary force. So I talked about the guy who said Trump would be assassinated or removed, or attempted to be assassinated or removed within 5 weeks. I talked about that a video or so ago. And I calculated it. From the time he made that video, 5 weeks, would get you right around the time of November 11th. Remember? 11/11/2018, which is also 11. 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8 is 11. 11/11/11, 33. Right? The elections, midterm elections, happened on November the 6th. Let's see. I got a calendar here. Tuesday, November the 6th, midterm elections. That very next Sunday, or the Sunday following, is November the 11th, 2018. So between November 11th, or between November the 6th and December 31st, it has to go dark. And they put the keys in on the internet just in time. They can take down all the grids piece by piece. They can really make everything dark and bring it up piece by piece as they get the area under control, back under their control, and they bring it up and it's operating. Then they put the next area under control and bring it up. So they're saying by 2020 it's going to be done, Jack. All of 2019, they're going to be fooling us with the fake alien invasion, the immigrant invasion, World War III, the UN peacekeepers. But the Antichrist, they got to put him in power. If he's not already in power. 8 FEMA regions. Or was it 10 FEMA regions? Anyway, who do you guys think the Antichrist is going to be? Think they're already here, that well known? Or is it going to be somebody fresh to spring up that nobody knows? But it's all happening now. It's all happening now. All kind of diseases that haven't been around for hundreds of years. They're back. They're back with a vengeance. So I believe that when Vice President Pence went down to all those Latin American countries, he was basically, it's not something you can talk about on the phone. May have been intercepted, leaked the plan, but you get down there and you talk to them face to face, put a little pressure on them, and coordinate. It's the only way you can get these people, to get through all these. Come on, man, these countries ain't gonna just open up the border for thousands of people to just come through their country. No, you know what I'm saying. The higher ups have to coordinate this, thing, man. So this is it. This is really it. So it seems like to me the timeline. They're definitely using the caravan to put stress and pressure to make people vote all Republican. But that's also going to cause the infighting. Some arrests may be starting on the 57,000 indictments. These people are desperate. I mean, they'll get they're do anything to get away to escape without doing a day in jail. So what do you guys think? Are they going to bring the house down? One thing about it, if this is a game of chess, the pawns are in motion. And some of the pawns are going to be sacrificed for the big picture, for the overall picture. So it looks like there were several other countries to start dumping the dollar. I mean, it's been going on. That's been going on for a good 8 years now. Countries have been starting to dump the dollar. And this thing with Saudi Arabia, we almost lost Saudi Arabia as an ally. I know you've heard about what's this guy, Khashoggi, the Washington Post quote unquote journalist. Some are saying that he was more than a journalist. You know how that goes. Operation Mockingbird. So he was probably a spy or one of the alphabet guys. But he went to the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul, Turkey. The videos and pictures show him coming in, show him going through the front door. There's no video of him ever leaving. Saudis denied anything for a while. Let other people come in. See, he's not here. Let him in. Look up under the rug. See, he's not here. I said, well, where is he? He came in. He just never left. Well, we don't know. Well, now all of a sudden they've admitted to it. They killed the guy. They had a doctor to come in with a bone saw and cut the guy up in little bitty pieces, put him in a bag, and disposed of him. In a public place, in a public building, man. Now that's gangster. You know what I mean? So we were really hot over that. Lindsey Graham wanted to sanction Saudi Arabia. This is our biggest ally. Yeah, CIA asset. Yeah, he was our biggest. Saudi Arabia is our biggest ally in the Middle East besides Israel. They even get along with Israel because of us. So Saudis had when we were saying we were going to invade the Middle East or something, Saudis said okay, they were going to put together an army of 300,000 from a lot of other little Arab nations and stuff. Because basically the U.S. is the muscle behind Saudi Arabia that keeps the kings. They were created. They were created by the Brits in the U.S. And so we basically keep them safe. But we almost lost that. They're trying to turn Trump into the Adolf Hitler. Okay, so all the enemies already hate us. Then they want to make him or make our allies turn against us as well, and we'll be the Germany of World War III, and we'll lose the war. But of course, all the doctors and the scientists and Hitler and everybody escaped. They weren't killed. They escaped. They left the lower ranking soldiers to die and the citizens of Germany to be taken over. But all the high Nazis escaped, half to Russia, Operation Paperclip, half to Russia, half to the U.S. The others escaped to Latin America, to Bolivia, Argentina, Colombia. That's why a lot of those guys down there, the rich people, even though they speak Spanish, they have German last names. So Hitler is said to be buried, I think Bolivia or somewhere like that. So they escaped, guys. And some people say the rest of them escaped to Antarctica. So the only ones who claim to have seen Hitler's body after World War II are the Russians, and they never showed the body to us. So Hitler and Eva Braun escaped, and a whole bunch of other ones, Mengele, and they all escaped. And that's what they're going to do here. The people of the House and Senate are all guaranteed a spot in the Denver International Airport underneath in the huge city. There are tunnels down underneath the U.S. with bullet trains that go. I can't even imagine how fast they go. Faster than 300 miles per hour, you can bet that. And the rich are all going to escape. They're bringing in the chaos now. They're bringing in these immigrants. They'll probably get here by 11/11. Somewhere between November the 6th and November the 11th, after the midterms. And some areas are going to martial law. Some areas are going to UN control, the white helmets, blue helmets. A lot of people are going to kill each other off for food, for water, trying to survive. Others are going to think greed and go, oh, lights off, the police ain't watching. Oh, man, it's going to get bad. But they'll bring it up. They'll bring in the military, and they'll bring it up piece by piece. Restore order to one area at a time under their control. FEMA camps are going to eliminate hundreds of thousands of people. And I don't know how they're going to work this thing out with China, because China is saying they want to be number one. The U.S. again is still saying, no, we want to be number one. Of course, Russia wants to be number one. I feel sorry for India, because India tried to play both sides. India tried to, yes, definitely. India tried to, wanted to be an ally with the U.S., so they do military drills with us, buy military equipment from us. Oh, then they want to play with Russia. So, okay, so they want to do a military drill with Russia, buy equipment from Russia. And then they keep China bumping heads with China. India's going to be sacrificed. Yeah, you got to choose one side or the other. You're not strong enough to stand by yourself against China. You're not strong enough to stand by yourself against Russia. You're not strong enough to stand by yourself against the U.S. And you're barely strong enough to stand by yourself against Pakistan. India has made a huge mistake. Bye-bye, Modi. The 400s? I don't know if the Russians are selling the 400s yet. They're coming out with the 500s for them. It's like they keep the most advanced for themselves and they sell everybody else the old stock. So they're selling the 200s and the 300s. 400s they're still using. They're rolling out the 500s, but I don't know. Yeah, Russia's no match for China. See, China's real sneaky. China says that their military has 2.8 million people in it, when my sources say China can amass an army of 700 million people. 700 million people. See, but they're putting out their official numbers. Oh, we only have 2.8 million in the active military. Oh man, there's little bitty countries that got that. 2.8 million. Y'all got over 1 billion people, and that's all you got? No, my sources say, really, China can amass an army of 700 million people. That's 2 times the population of the United States. So Red Dawn is coming, guys. We can prepare the best we can. At least now we can see a timeline. We know it's going to happen before the end of the year. It's going to happen before December 31st. And we know they're probably going to hold off anything. It's the U.S. plan to hold off anything until November the 6th. Those elections are very important to them. And then we know that the Illuminati Day, the Freemason Day, 11/11/2018, 33, significant day. So, but if we're sneak attacked, it could happen anytime. But Israel and Russia is about to go at it right now. It's a lot of moving parts. It's hard to keep track. We're gearing up over in Ukraine and Crimea. Anytime, right? And we're about to do the largest military drill with NATO that we've done. Kind of like Russia just did the large one with 300,000 troops, and they had Chinese military with them. We're going to do something like that too with NATO on the Russian border. So anytime we do these type of drills, it could go live easily. One mistake, it could go live. Or they could even sneak attack us before, if they think that we're going to take it live. They could sneak attack us before we even get set up. So it's a lot of moving parts. They want us to vote to get a pulse. It's kind of like to see how the people are thinking, to get a pulse. It's like taking a poll, not really voting. It's just like taking a survey, should I say? Partly, yeah. So, because they're pushing for the new world order anyway, regardless of who you vote for, regardless of what you do, how you protest. Okay, they're gonna keep doing it. Every plan that they've had, you may stop it this way, and they come around this way, and the same plan gets put in place. So, yeah, I don't know. We know what's coming. We first have to get prepared mentally so we're not in a state of shock. If we don't vote the way they want us to do, they have a plan B. They'll make you sorry that you didn't vote that way. They'll set off something, false flag. We just have to know that this thing is real, these things are real, so that we're not in a state of shock. So when something happens, we're just not frozen. We have to be able to spring into action. So we have to have several plans, scenarios. Oh yeah, they've been getting ready for a long time. Don't forget about all the thousands of coffins they had. The plastic coffins that can fit 2, 3, 4 people. What do you think they're going to use that for? What do you think? They never told us why they got it. Remember, they even ordered bullets for the IRS. They ordered bullets for the post office. Come on, what do you think? What do you think they were doing that for? Billions of rounds. Remember, just a few years ago. Hollow points. Now, according to the Geneva Convention, you can't use hollow points in the theater of war. So if the United States goes to war with Russia, China, or anybody, we can't use hollow points. Why did the U.S. government order hollow points for all these government agencies? Yeah. One thing about it, you want to make sure you're in shape. You may have to jog a mile, run a mile. If the thing gets physical and you get into a fisticuff, a little squabble, you don't want to get tired after 2 punches. Because you're dead meat. Nobody's going to break it up. If you can't get away, or if you can't incapacitate or win the fight, you're out of there. There's no referee. There's no tapping out. Win, I go home. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I went back to where I saw it. I actually saw something hit the sun. I even talked about it. I had a dream about it. I talked about it in the previous video, but I went back to the guys where I saw it on his channel. It was Blue Kool-Aid on you. He's taking it down and retracted the story. He put out another one. He was explaining, no, nobody forced me to take it down and stuff like that. I mean, it's possible. We can go by what he says. But he has taken it down. He has a video that something hit the moon and it's not up anymore. But he said it's because it was old. I mean, that's believable. But what do you guys think? You think this is the big one? You think this is the big one? The hardest part is trying to wake other people up. So many people are zombified right now. So zombified, so comfortable. You know, even the ones who're supposed to know, they haven't changed a thing. Hitting the sun. I did see something hit the sun. Someone even said that the sun may be a gateway, a portal, because you have sun diving comets and stuff like that. Sometimes you'll see a flying object just aim straight for the sun like a moth. They're saying the sun may be a gateway. Something, it may be something on the other side. Or you may be able to go through it, and who knows. Yeah. So it seems to me that now I see why the Trump has two cards in the card game. Yeah, it's because he's the closer, and whoever is coming next, either coming next or coming back, is going to be the anti. Hmm. I was watching a documentary on Elon Musk, his family history, and a lot of anomalies with that guy. Strange things. So I mean, is there maybe they're pulling the wool over our eyes? But these people that are coming, there's definitely they've been having a hard time getting the Civil War kicked off. It's gonna get kicked off really good now, really well. You wait and see. Wait till these migrants get here. They've been having a hard time taking the grid down. You see, they've been practicing. They practiced the grid down scenario. Russia you practice using their EMP weapon they have now. They've been practicing. It's a lot of stuff that they've been practicing. That it's gonna go live. 9/11 was just a warm up. The Vegas shooting was just a warm up. They got the currency in place. So sometime between now and November the 11th, they'll probably sink the dollar, crash the market, start the war. Rapid succession. Rapid succession. And the propaganda will be different. When they take everything down, they'll put the story out in Florida. Oh, the U.S. has been taken over. It's been conquered. Da 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 da. They'll put a different story out in California. Oh, we're winning. We need more volunteers. They'll put a different one out in Texas. Put a different story out in New York and Maine. And oh man, the propaganda. Whoever controls the information, controls the knowledge, controls the people. And they'll bring the grid up one step at a time. Who knows, man? Our government might be in with China and Russia. They're all in it together. They're all in the United Nations together. President Trump just announced he's going to pull out of a missile deal that we had with Russia signed back in the 70s. Some type of medium range missile deal. He says he's pulling out of that deal. See, they're making him out to be the new Hitler. They're going to make it look like history is going to write it as Trump was a madman. So again, with this guy's dream, they're supposed to try to remove Trump here sometime around November 6th, November 11th. We see that the impeachment process didn't work out too well. And Mueller, he's supposed to announce his final findings of the Russia investigation right after November the 6th. See how they're putting everything in this 1 week from November the 6th to November the 11th? Yeah, I saw that. And Putin is saying stuff like, if we attack them in a nuclear war, they said they're going to heaven because they're angels, and the attacker's going to go to hell. They're going to be resurrected to heaven, and whoever attacks them is going to hell. I don't think Putin really wants a World War III, man, but New World Order is going to make him have it. You remember Russia was on the Bilderberg meeting agenda? Yeah. Putin has been trying to avoid it. He's gotten his plane shot down and didn't retaliate. A lot of stuff has happened. He's been trying to keep a cool head, but nah, I'm sorry, Putin. Y'all gonna have to fight. Y'all gonna have to fight. It's really China that they don't want to get injured. They don't want to have not even a scratch. They want everybody else to be destroyed, and China will fill up those empty cities that they have. Oh yeah, China had a bad week on stocks last week. But of course they blame the U.S. So, have you looked at your grocery store lately? You know about the food shortage, right? In when the hurricane hit North Carolina, it killed like 1.5 million chickens. And you just got to think about it. All this flooding, where the cows? The cows are gonna drown. Yeah, the chickens drown. What else you like to eat? Pork? Oh yeah, a bunch of pigs dead. They drown. Oh the fish. Oh, the fish washing up on the shores now. They're dead. What are you gonna eat? What are you gonna eat? If you're walking through a field of fruits and vegetables and herbs that you can eat that are edible, would you know it? Can you identify them in the natural form? Probably not. You'll walk right over potatoes and don't even know it's potatoes. Because potatoes grow under the ground. You have to pull them up. And carrots and stuff. Would you know? So, all the dead fish, over 2 tons of dead fish, all the dead cows, all the dead chickens, all the dead pigs. It's going to work its way up the food chain. It's going to cause food shortage. It's going to cause prices to rise up. Unless we get a ship from overseas somewhere. And we know we got the trade war going on, tariffs. Oh man, this stuff can happen quickly, man. Things can change in a blink of an eye. Just like that. Overnight. But guys, I just want y'all to be prepared. Right. No one knows how to hunt anymore. Fish. Red tide. Right. Yeah. I just want y'all to be prepared, man. I want to be prepared. Got to keep our eyes open. We have to think because they'll tell us a crock of lies and, wash it down with some of this. A lot of the stuff they're saying doesn't make sense. All right. It's pretty good. They want to get people vaccinated. They're going to kill a lot of people with the vaccinations. With the mosquitoes that Bill Gates just released. Oh man, I heard the mosquitoes in all right. I heard the mosquitoes in South Carolina and Florida now about the size of wasps and bees. These genetically modified mosquitoes, man. They gonna suck you dry. 3 or 4 mosquitoes get on you, they'll kill you, man. They'll suck all your blood out. Oh yeah, man. These are the days. Anyway, I didn't want to keep y'all long, man. I just wanted to come on and say that I believe that it's been green lighted. All bad. Well, I mean, what do we expect? We knew it was coming. We prepared for it. We have an advantage. Because it says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So it's not going to prosper. Great is he who is within me. Great is he who is within you than he who is within the world. So yeah, we got an advantage. We got a power that they can't see, that they can't fight, that they can't plan for. See, we can call down a legion of angels to fight our battles, but we got to be fighting too. See what I'm saying? But anyway, guys, just just think about things. Try to have everything your ducks in a row, because you never know when it's coming to your doorstep. It's been green lighted. This is it. This is it. They said it would come in 2018. Well, it's here. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And again, I appreciate all my subscribers, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Right, exactly. Well, I'm out of here, guys. Brian Anthony, Beyond Babbitt, over and out. Be safe.